Hey, what's up, guys? Man, listen, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you guys chose to tune in today on the Commerce Podcast, and I'm so excited because on this one, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different today. It's my second episode. You know, we did the first one with the intro, but this one, those of you that know me, some people know me, some people don't. Maybe you're introduced to me for the very first time. I have an amazing, beautiful daughter.
Yes, yes.
Her name is Brijanae Davis, and I had to take a sip of humility for a moment. But I have my daughter on the podcast, and we are actually going to launch our own podcast together. So that's going to be interesting. But part of my comma is that I'm a father, and our story is a little bit different, you know. And so, what's up, baby?
What's up? I'm just gonna let you talk about me some more.
Oh my God.
Hype me up.
Look, she loves to be hyped up, patted on the back, and all that other type of stuff. But Brijanae and I have an interesting journey, which we're still walking on.
Yes, Lord.
It's
Step by step.
day by day. So, Brijanae, how has it been being my
Davis?
daughter, being a Davis? How is that? How has that been?
It has been, guys. Okay, it has been great. You know, I mean, I always wanted a dad. You know, so that's good. But it's not like my dad is not a regular person, so it comes with a lot being connected to you. You know, just and even outside of because like my dad was always my dad. Like so even before you know it was like super official, but it's a lot that comes with being your daughter, you know.
It does.
But I do think that I do have a grace for it.
Okay.
And while I don't have grace, I have a mouth. You know, handle it. But I mean, it's been like a growing process because you know I ain't never had no daddy, so I ain't know how to be no daughter to no.
Well,
for real, like a daughter. Period. But
yeah. Oh, but I think and that's good because I think that it's an adjustment for you being a daughter. It's an adjustment for me being I've been a spiritual father to a lot, but to have like a child that, you know, like, oh, I got, you know, I need to talk to or touch base with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm so used to the spiritual aspect. Yo, I see you on Wednesday. I see you on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Set up a meeting. Like, nigga, where you at? I ain't talked to you in 3 days.
Exactly. So like that check-in process, because that's been an adjustment for us. Like, you know, with you being in Alabama, I was in LA, you know what I'm saying? So that's been hard, you know, because we were used to seeing each other or touching base every single day, but it's kind of easier to do when we live in the same city or live in the same house.
Yeah.
You know, so like how has the adjustment, like, because I think even, you know, not just having a father, but then, you know, like you growing up, you know, you were in a role of kind of being a mom. You know, like for being there for your sister and stuff like that. So now you've had to kind of, you know, like.
Yeah, like the whole, even learning to like be dependent, that was like a lot for me. And I remember, I think we was going to Chicago and it was like, he was like, if you want to go, just say you want to go and it'll be handled. I'm like, well, I'm not used to that. Like I'll make stuff happen or if I can't, then I just don't do it. So like learning to like lean and be dependent, like, okay, and now it's like I don't want to be wanting to do nothing.
I done crippled her, y'all.
To find a balance because it's like you went from being like I was super independent. Then you fussed at me. And you was like, okay, this is my dad, so be more dependent. Then the move happened. Then like everything just changed, and I just feel like my stability was just off. Yeah. So just trying to navigate, you know.
Still trying to
just see where the balance is like in it, but I definitely adjustment.
Yeah, I think, you know, like, you know, even for me, you know, like this particular comma has been the one that I probably had to, you know, like grow in the most, you know, like, so like, you know, like if you're a business person, you just kind of flow into it, you know, like that's just what you do. You kind of learn and, you know, learn through business and so forth and so on. Then if you a preacher, you kind of learn through that, you know, like pastoring people and so forth and so on. This one is a consistent, constant job.
Yeah.
And not in a negative sense.
Yeah.
It's the work that has to go into it. It's the intentionality that has to go into it. Then you a girl.
Yes, I am. I am a woman. Phenomenally.
So and then you're a woman. Then you're creative.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're artist and you rap and do it. So it's like you have all of these different elements to you that, for one, I think make us amazing. Make us amazing father-daughter duo.
Yeah.
But then also at the same time, it's emotions.
Yeah, a lot. And we're so much alike. Like, that's so it's like both of us like not the best when it comes to communication,
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when we get home, we don't even want to do nothing. Like, we just want to chill. So it's like, it's cool that we so much alike, but sometimes that don't be like, oh no, we got to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's I think that is a big challenge because we are so much alike.
Yeah.
So like if there's deficits in our communication,
we just shut down.
We ain't got nothing to say. I don't want to talk to nobody.
Right.
You don't want to talk to nobody. So it's just that is a challenge. But then by the time we do talk, it's blow up time.
It's come out. Where is this coming from?
Yeah. What is wrong with you? We've been feeling that way for a long time.
Lord, yes. It be over nothing. Like, it be stuff. It's like boom.
It just blow up.
Yeah, but I know, and I'm a woman, so I know I do.
And like it's so crazy because it's levels, and like for our listeners, for the commas that are listening, because we call them commas. Okay. So for the commas that are listening, it's one thing. We can for one. I think it's healthy to identify where your deficiencies are, right. And to acknowledge those, like, I do need to work on my communication, or I do need to, work on that. But then making sure that we're intentional about taking the steps that we need to take with the relationships that are important to us to work through those things. So like, because a lot of times we'd be like, oh, that's just the way that I am. Mm-hmm. But in all actuality, that could be the way that you are. But at the same time, do we settle and be like, oh, that's just the way that I am. You either gonna deal with it or you're not. Or do we work on that with the relationships that we genuinely want in our lives?
Yeah. And I think that take a lot of like self-reflection and growth, because it could be like how you saying, like, this is just the way I am. But why are you that way?
Yeah.
And it's probably because you was just let down so many times that you just got to the point where it's like, okay, I don't want to talk about my feelings. I didn't even know I had feelings or emotional needs. So that's like a growth for me. Mm-hmm. But I think not also like on your, so say if it was like you did something to me, not also on your end, like being intentional about correcting it, but I also need to be intentional about communicating. Okay, for me, I need to hear from you. Mm-hmm. You need to say, hey, just take a little interest, in my life. Mm-hmm. That's all.
In my life?
Yeah.
Well, so, like, and I think, because that's big, and I'm still learning how to properly love you, right?
Yeah.
So, I think, when you became part of my life at 7, you were 17.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you became part of my life at 17. It was like, oh, I love this girl. This is my daughter. This is like, this legit it. And then when we made it official, and it was like, okay, it was like, all right, I love her. Like,
I love her. She loves me.
Yeah. Like, what I'm saying? And from my aspect is, from a male perspective, especially from a man that did not have a father, consistent in his life until later on in life when my stepdad came apart, it's been one of those things where, oh, I just give you what I didn't have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then like what it's like, okay, take care of me financially, provide for me, go out there, work, da. But then it's like, with you, it's like, nah, I need you to check on me, take interest in this stuff, talk to me, so forth and so on. So it's like a learning process, which I think, communicating what is needed for each person is a big piece.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and having that open space to be like, yo, this is what I need. Yeah. This is how I interpret love. This is how I interpret that you care. Not just you paying the bill.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. But that's like understanding men. Like that's what y'all do. So
Yeah.
I get like, cause it be like, long as I take care of these, I pay for these house, then you good. Like
Yeah.
I'm doing everything for you.
I provide.
It's not that I don't feel like you don't care, like because you do. You do what you think you're supposed to do. But I'm a woman. Like, I need you to be present. I need present. Present. I think that's the biggest thing. But also, that took me having to understand, like, okay, what is it that you need? Because if you don't communicate what you need, you can't complain about what you're not getting.
That's very true.
And that's in any relationship.
That is very, very true. And I think that's something all of our listeners need to understand.
Yeah.
Like, we can't automatically assume just because someone loves us that they know how to love us the way that we interpret.
Yeah.
So, like, if I, because I think immediately, like, we're groomed to kind of show love the way that we interpret love. So if I say, oh, well, gifts may be my big love language. So if I gave you a gift, then I'm saying, oh, they know I love her because that's the way I interpret love.
Yeah.
But then you like, no, it's time. And I'm like, no. You know what I'm saying? So immediately I think I'm hitting the mark because I am doing what I would like for someone to do for me.
For you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I'm totally missing the mark because it's like, oh, dude, you can take that gift back, spend time with me.
Yeah.
Type of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's like at the root of it is levels of communication. Being able to communicate what you feel, how you interpret love, how you want to be loved, and that kind of grows and develops into something.
Yeah. And I think too, it grows like over time, because what I like right now, I might need like personal time, or I need like one-on-one time, or maybe like when I get older, like maybe I don't need all that. Like at that point, still buy me stuff though, because I do. But at the end of the day, I like quality time, but that's my love language, though, quality time. So,
but now, I think that a lot of our translations of love can be lost in us having the need to almost protect ourselves. And what I mean by that is like, like if, you, like you said, it was adjustment, you becoming a daughter, right?
Yeah.
So like what you've had to do, all your life is just take care of yourself. But then you get a dad, your dad adopts you. And then it's like, oh, I don't have to really do that as much anymore. Yeah. I can take care, I'm going to take care of myself in certain aspects. But, I got a dad I can go to and talk to and be like, yo, I need some help with this. Or, hey, can you help me with this? So then, but because of your ability to take care of yourself, that, like in my shoes, the dad be like, oh, well, she got it.
Yeah.
So I could come across as like, oh, hands off because Brijanae got it. But then you saying, yo, I want you to be hands on, but I don't know how to communicate that.
Yeah.
So like, it's the balance of it.
Yeah, and learning, because I'm like, I was fine, independent. You make me be dependent, and now it's like, what the heck is going on? For real. But it was like a sense, like with having a sense of stability that I never experienced like in life before. So that was like, ooh, okay, I could breathe a little.
Yeah.
And then anytime like, well, I don't know, just in relationships, like, you build a safe place. So when stuff happen and you feel like your safe place getting shook, and you revert back to like, and I've done it. Like, probably been in that place for real. It was like, you know what? I'll just do it on my own. I'll just do everything by myself.
Yeah.
And I ain't even communicated, but that's like just default, like defense mechanism.
Yeah. Well, I think that that's key for us and our relationship, and then the key for our listeners to understand, like, when, it's very easy to revert back to what you have known and what you have done, but it doesn't mean it's always right, especially when you have like people in relationships that you want to grow and want to flourish, and you're trying to teach people how to be there for you.
Yeah.
It is like the strong level of communication, because this one thing that I'm learning is that the communication is going to happen. The communication is going to happen, but normally in situations where we revert back, we're going to communicate what we feel, but we just probably won't communicate what we feel to the person. You see what I'm saying? So like it's going to spew out somewhere. So like we could be talking to our friends and it's going to spew out to our friends, or or it's going to come out to the person, but it's going to come out in a way that we don't want it to come across. Like it's going to come across in a very argumentative, loud, you know what I'm saying, type of way. Eventually, it's going to be communicated.
Yeah.
But I think that if we catch it early, it's able to be communicated to that person the right type of way before frustration builds all the way up type of situation.
Yeah. You have to be intentional about even creating space to communicate, because it's so easy not, especially like our schedules. Like, it's just easy not to just forget it, act like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Just go eat the next day.
And then what a practice that I'm trying to embody now is allowing that, well, I say argument, but I'm just talking like that particular situation, allowing that situation to be that situation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like if we're talking about, you didn't text back, like, and we, talking about that, like, oh, you didn't text me back, or you didn't da. Like, I'm not going to bring up that 2 months ago, you see what I'm saying? Like, me back. Or no, like, not even that, like 2 months ago, I went and then I called you 2 months ago and you didn't answer the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think girls do that though. Because I definitely, like, and it's the same thing that you did last time. If we didn't talk about it, that's why that is important to talk about it, because like if we handled it there, I ain't gonna bring it up again. No different in that sense. But if it's something that we ain't talking about and it remind me of something, I'll go, yeah, you did this 3 years ago.
Like I'm telling you, man, like Feel My was one of my favorite rap groups growing up, and Feel My one of the guys from Feel My said, women hold a grudge like piss on a road trip. And I don't like to use the word piss, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? But it's the concept behind it. Like, like they'll hold it and be like, yeah, like it's almost like women, like y'all hold on to stuff like the Big Joker, like playing spades, like, like y'all just wait on the right moment, be like,
at the right time,
gotcha.
Right. Mm.
Yeah, like, yep. Mm-hmm.
I think because we really do try to not, because it's so much like with girls, like, oh, you nagging, are you in your feelings? Like when you try to communicate that, so it's like you try to just, and then it gets to a point where, okay, look, nigga, dot, all this stuff. So,
yeah. So I mean, it's an adjustment.
Yeah,
it's an adjustment. I think in both areas, in you being a daughter, me being a father, I think that, and guys, this is across the board in any relationship that you want to have in your life, it takes a big word, grace.
Yeah.
Because we just don't give it, because a lot of times we want to always receive grace, like to grow in our particular areas, but we don't like to give it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, have grace for me right now. I'm going, I'm dealing with this, I'm trying to become or whatever. But then it's like, yo, we got to give that same grace that we want. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes you be mad about stuff you haven't, like uncommunicated expectations. And sometimes you have to check like your expectations, because at the end of the day, you're a great human being. Yeah. But you are a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad is flawed, and that's okay. Like, but we can grow because I'm flawed. Yeah. So I think you have to keep that in perspective, because sometimes it's like, my dad is just this great guy. So when you do something that, like, I don't, then it's like, ugh. But it don't change that, you that great guy. So you have to, like, really go back, and I'm like, okay, am I setting the expectation that's not communicated? And even if it is an expectation that's communicated, is it something that's too high, or just not where you at right now? So I think.
So and we'll and I think later in our podcast, we're gonna develop our podcast this week, and so we'll schedule some time to do that, and so that'll be rolling out. But I think that we also, like, when we talk about our journey of adoption and stuff like that, like having you a part of my life has been like a major piece, right? Mm-hmm. So I had to make sure, like you said, like those expectations, that they're not unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, I'm like, like if I feel a certain type of way, I'm like, oh, that's not Brijanae's place to pay for that. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I think that's what happens. Like when we have relationships that come into our lives that literally mean the world to us. Like we love them. We, a lot of times we may make them pay for something else that happened that they had nothing to do with.
Yeah.
So then it's like, it's like, oh, well, pay for this happening and pay for that happening. And it's not their place to do that. Yeah. Like they came in and now they're charting a new space. Allow them to be that. You know what I'm saying?
And I think like even like leaning up to the doctor, because like I said, my dad was always my dad, like when I met him. But I think like God had to really like work with me through my father wounds, and I didn't even know I had father wounds because I'm like, I don't need that nigga. Like that's how I grew up, like thinking like because he wasn't there, but you do. So stop lying to yourselves. But really, so I had father wounds, but I think like God dealt with me through that, and then it was like I don't know what he was doing on your end, but obviously he was dealing with you too, and then he gave the papers out and gave me his last name, y'all. So ladies out there coming for my daddy, just know I was the first one to take his last name. But we will welcome you with open arms over here. But no, for real, I did have to, and that's like part of what I was saying, like learning how to be a daughter. But I really had to deal with my father ones before God like gave me a father. And
that's so big, and we got so much to cover. In our podcast. But I think that's so big because we have to learn that we have to do the work for ourselves to receive what we want in our lives.
Yeah, and it's already there. It's there. You just got to be like, because God loves you, he loves me, and he want to make sure we both manage good. You know?
Bingo. Because what sense does it make for God to send us the relationship, the father-daughter relationship, the father-son relationship, the marriage relationship, anything that you guys are praying for. What sense does it make for God to send it and then we mismanage it when we get it?
Yeah.
Because that's why he wants us, and he doesn't want us to be deficient on the other person. Like our wholeness hinged upon them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we are doing our own work in ourselves to be like, yo, like we gonna do the work to receive what God wants to give, what God wants to give us. So that's huge.
Yeah, and then it's just like growing, because I was like I said, y'all, for the longest, I would tell myself like I was fine without no dad, but like having my dad, like it definitely opened me up to a whole new way of life. Like I just, from the hood to the burbs, but not even that, just like mentally, like open up my mind and to have, somebody that's like supporting you and you have that stability. And when you have security, you just operate different. Yeah. And like I'm a super tomboy, but like people would tell you like since I got my dad, I have definitely become a little more feminine. I'm still a tomboy. I still go to war, but like I don't know. But it just came with a sense of security.
Yeah.
And you don't realize like there was a deficit until you get it.
Yeah, well, and I think it's like you kind of submitting to some form of help.
Yeah.
That was
the biggest thing.
That was the biggest thing. Like you saying, you know what? Like I got somebody in my life. I got a dad that now I can defer to. And then also, I think like fathers are a part of their daughters' lives to show them what type of man that they should have in their lives.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if he's not going to do this, or he's not going to take care of you like this, or he's not going to, and now I'm working on the emotional side. Yeah. I'm not that like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm working on the emotional side to be there. But then, because my concept of it was just provide, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm still growing in the emotion, like being there conversationally, texting, talking, that type of situation. But it begins to show you the model of it, of what a father should be. And then letting you know what type of guy that you should want a part of your life. You know what I'm saying? That does this. And if you're not doing this to this standard, then.
Yeah. For sure. And then not even just if you're not doing to the standard, but even if somebody was to come to me and it's like, oh, I got this. I'm like, dude, my daddy already did that. Like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. So yeah.
Definitely like living with my dad, just at the end of the day, ladies, a man is going to be a man. Like men are men. And I think because I'm such a tomboy, like I would hang with dudes, but it's different. Like living with a guy and like just seeing this, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is definitely going to help me for my husband. Because my God, I don't care how great a man is. Like at the end of the day, they're men. So you just have to. It's just we're different people. We are different,
and women are women.
That's what I'm saying.
Y'all so emotional. It's like
I
trying to
didn't
manage
realize
that.
how
Oh my
emotional
God.
I was until like with my dad.
Yeah.
I think I give you the most business when it comes to
Definitely.
emotions.
Definitely.
Like,
but I wouldn't have it no other way.
yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. It's hard as it may be to communicate or to be where we are. You know, one of the things that this is definitely showing me and teaching me is commitment.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's not an option to give up or to stop or to, oh, we ain't doing this no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and see, that's what I like. Like, when it gets right
so
to
like,
the point, I quit.
So like normally, like when it gets hard, like we run.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a trait that we both kind of have had.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what God has done with the both of us is pivot us to be like, you can't. You know what I'm saying? So even when it gets difficult and it gets hard for us, we like, yo, but that's still my daughter.
Yeah.
You know, and that's still my dad. So, you know, it ain't no quitting, it ain't no running, it ain't no, we just gotta work through it.
Yeah.
And what it's showing us is how to work through lifelong commitments. Everybody says like, oh, I'm there with you for life. But this is legit. I'm with you for life.
For life. For life.
Legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's showing us that every single day. You know what I'm saying? So, guys, I know, man, you know, like this conversation, I know we're going to pick back up, but I'm just glad that you all are subscribed to this. And, you know, I had my daughter on for my first real episode of Comma. So, this is a comma for me. I am a father. A father that is growing. So guys, thank you for listening today, man. Remember, with commas, man, the proper punctuation gives you the right to be more. Baby, thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me. You know, it's just an honor to be with the Adrian Davis.
Get out of here.
Oh my God.
And so I can't wait to the next episode of Commas, and you know, we're gonna talk about some business things, get some things mapped out, and we can't wait to see you guys become more. Remember, man, God is doing more than what you think he is, and you're doing better than what you think you are. Remember, God is doing more than what you think he is, and you are doing better than what you think that you are. All right. Can't wait to see you next episode. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe and share this with someone. See you soon.